Some cities whisper their history, but Nuremberg is different. Well, Nuremberg shouts it. Because this city has seen emperors, artists, and let's be honest, it has seen a fair share of mischief. It's the kind of city where medieval charm collides with a modern heartbeat, where every street has a story to tell. And today, we're going to walk through it together, on foot, because apparently, my husband thinks my legs are built for marathons. Don't worry, I'll keep you entertained, and by the end of this, you might even feel like you've taken the journey with me, minus the sore feet. We begin at Richard Wagner Platz, named after Wagner, the composer. You know, the guy who gave us those dramatic opera pieces where everyone seems to be either fighting, dying, or both at the same time. Nuremberg has deep connections to Wagner's music, and classical concerts are still a big deal here. Just a short walk from here is the Nuremberg Opera House. This place is majestic. And we're talking grand stone facades, domed rooftops, and an entrance that just screams. Built in 1905, it's one of Germany's most beautiful opera houses. And it somehow manages to look both intimidating and elegant at the same time. The Opera House has seen centuries of performances, some classical, some modern. We now have to cross the Frauenkirche. If we break it down literally, it means the Women's Gate Moat. Now, before you ask, this wasn't a secret entrance for ladies with a VIP pass to the city. But, it was actually part of Nuremberg's old fortifications, surrounding the town to keep invaders out. The moat itself is long gone, but this area still marks a key entrance into the old town. As we cross over to the other side, we get our first real feel for Nuremberg's layered history, with modern life buzzing around us. But just ahead, the medieval world waiting to be explored. And suddenly, it feels like we've time traveled. Because, the buildings here are centuries old, the streets are cobbled, and the energy shifts from modern city to storybook charm. Klaragasse is a narrow street that feels straight out of a medieval film set. Here we are at Hauptmarkt, and this is where things start to get lively, with cafes, street musicians, and maybe a pretzel the size of your head. And I'm not joking, because Bavarian pretzels are next level. And crispy on the outside, soft and chewy inside, and best enjoyed with mustard or a side of beer. Speaking of beer, Nuremberg takes its brewing seriously. And the city was once home to over 40 breweries, and beer was so important here that monks used to brew it as part of their daily routine. In the background is the St. Lawrence Church. This church is massive with towering twin spires, intricate stone carvings, and an entrance that practically dares you to walk in and stare in awe. It's one of the most stunning Gothic churches in Germany, and I promise you that if you weren't feeling small before, you definitely will now. The square right in front of the church is known as Platz. Step inside St. Lawrence Church, and if you thought the outside was impressive, the inside will leave you speechless. High vaulted ceilings, grand columns, and the kind of stained glass that makes you wonder how on earth people managed to create something so detailed hundreds of years ago. The church was originally built in the 13th century but was heavily damaged during World War II. But thankfully, the city restored it, so we get to see it in all its glory today. Let's take a moment to talk about Nuremberg itself, because this city has been through a lot. And it was first mentioned in records back in 1050 AD, which, in European history terms, makes it a teenager compared to places like Rome or Athens, but don't let that fool you. By the Middle Ages, Nuremberg had become one of the most important cities in the Holy Roman Empire. Now, there's one thing inside that we have to talk about, and it is known as the angelic salutation. It's this beautifully intricate wooden sculpture of the Annunciation, hanging dramatically in mid-air above the altar. Construction started in the 1200s, and by the time it was finished, Nuremberg was already one of the most powerful cities in Europe. Over on the left side of the altar, you'll find one of the most delicate yet mind-blowing pieces of Gothic architecture known as the tabernacle. And designed in the 1490s by Adam Kraft, this thing is over 20 feet tall. Now, let's talk about the stained glass. And there are over 50 stained glass panels, some dating back to the 14th and 15th centuries. They bathe the interior in a kaleidoscope of blues, reds, and golds when the sunlight hits just right. It's like a divine light show. One of the most famous windows here is the Tree of Jesus, tracing his lineage all the way back to King David. After World War II, the roof collapsed, the stained glass windows were shattered, and many of the original artworks were at risk of being lost forever. But the people of Nuremberg weren't about to let their beloved church disappear. The stained glass windows were carefully put back together, and many of the church's priceless artifacts were returned to their original places. Nuremberg is the second largest city in Bavaria. It is smack in the heart of Franconia, a region in northern Bavaria, and is located about 170 kilometers north of Munich, and around 225 kilometers east of Frankfurt. The city covers about 186 square kilometers, which is roughly the size of Washington, D.C. Nuremberg has a population of around 540,000 people. So yeah, it's big, but not overwhelmingly so. The town has a huge student population, a thriving art scene, and some of the best Christmas markets in the world. We are crossing the Museum Bridge, and this bridge gives you one of the most scenic views of the Pegnitz River. And trust me, you'll want to take a picture here. This is the Narrenschiff, a sculpture called the Ship of Fools. And it's a bunch of crazy characters crammed onto a sinking ship, which, let's be honest, sometimes feels like life itself. And here we are, Hauptmarkt, Nuremberg's main square. It has been Nuremberg's main marketplace since the 14th century. And if you're here in December, This is where the world-famous Christmas market takes over, transforming the square into a winter wonderland. Right on the edge of Hauptmarkt stands the stunning Church of Our Lady. Built in 1352, this Gothic masterpiece was commissioned by Emperor Charles IV, and it's got some serious architectural drama with sharp spires, intricate carvings, and massive stained glass windows. Stepping inside, the Gothic interior is simple but elegant, with tall ribbed vaults and stunning stained glass. The organ, though not as massive or as famous as the one in Lawrence Church, still sounds beautiful. Did you know that before the market square was built, this area was actually a Jewish quarter? In the 14th century, the Holy Roman Emperor ordered its demolition, and the area was cleared to create the market. And it's a dark chapter in Nuremberg's history, but today, a plaque commemorates the former synagogue that once stood here. The Gooseman Fountain, and created in 1550, features a cheerful-looking man holding a goose under each arm while water trickles from their beaks. And before I forget, if you go back to the Church of Our Lady, do pay close attention to the famous clock show. If you're here at exactly noon, stop whatever you're doing and look up at the church's facade. We continue our walk toward St. Sebald Church. The streets are narrower, the buildings lean in just a little closer, and the medieval atmosphere wraps around you like a well-worn cloak. St. Sebald is the oldest in Nuremberg, dating back to the 13th century. And inside, it's a stunning blend of Romanesque and Gothic architecture, with massive stone columns, intricate stained glass windows, and a sense of deep, ancient history. Saint Sebald is the patron saint of Nuremberg, and legend has it that he once traveled through the region performing miracles. If we have time, I'll take you inside later on, but for now let us continue towards Turm Tor, one of the best preserved city gates of Nuremberg's medieval fortifications. And do catch our video where we explore Dresden, another amazing German city. And if you do not want to miss our upcoming travel video, remember to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. You can click on the pop-up on the right top-end corner of your screen to watch the video of Dresden, or you can watch it later after this video. I'll leave an end card to it. For now, follow me, we are making our way towards the medieval city gate. Standing proudly in Albrecht-Dürer Platz, this bronze statue of Nuremberg's most famous artist was erected in 1840. He was a Renaissance master, known for his stunning paintings, engravings, and woodcuts. And just behind it, the half-timbered Albrecht-Dürer house, where he lived and worked in the late 1400s to early 1500s. Standing tall with its red-tiled roof and stone walls, the medieval city gate feels like a portal to another era, because, well, it actually was. This gate was a major entrance into the walled city during the Middle Ages, protecting Nuremberg from invaders. The gate is also right next to Albrecht-Dürer's house, and if you have time, pop inside for a peek at how an artist lived in the 1500s, or just take in the beautifully preserved timber-framed building from the outside. Now comes the part that separates the casual strollers from the dedicated explorers, the walk uphill toward Nuremberg Castle. Just kidding actually. And while the path leading to the castle is really uphill, it is more of a very gentle slope, and given the winter weather here, you won't even break sweat when you reach it. The cobblestone streets wind their way up, and let me tell you, it's well worth it. As you climb, the view starts to open up, revealing the red rooftops of Nuremberg stretching out below. And every step feels like a journey into the city's royal past, as the towering castle walls come into view. And finally, we made it. Standing proudly atop the city, Nuremberg Castle has watched over Nuremberg for nearly 1,000 years. It is one of the most important medieval fortresses in Europe. For over 500 years, it was a residence of the Holy Roman Emperors, making it a symbol of power, prestige, and imperial might. And you're immediately greeted by massive stone walls, some parts dating back to the 11th century. During World War II, the castle was heavily bombed, but many of its most important treasures were hidden underground and survived. As the sun starts to set, we take a final look out over Nuremberg from the castle walls. And gradually the sky turns shades of orange and pink, the rooftops glow in the evening light, and you can hear the distant chatter of cafes down below. And with that, we begin our walk back down, retracing our steps towards the Church of St. Sebald. Earlier, we walked past this church along the way to the castle, and I told you guys that we will visit it later on. So let's go in and take a look, okay? As you step inside, the first thing you'll notice is the high, vaulted ceiling, supported by massive stone columns. And unlike Lawrence Church, which has more colorful stained glass, St. Sebald's interior feels a bit more austere and medieval, but that's part of its charm. Now let us head towards the central square, and toward our hotel, as our legs tired. And despite all this, our hearts full of history, beauty, and just a little bit of medieval magic. The city has a different energy now, slightly calmer, more intimate, almost like it's catching its breath after a long day of storytelling. Nuremberg isn't just a place you visit, but a place you walk through, get lost in, and slowly uncover like a medieval manuscript. If you loved this journey through Nuremberg, wait until you see Dresden. It is another historic German gem, but with a completely different vibe, with Baroque palaces, grand opera houses, and one of the most stunning riverfront skylines in all of Europe. And as always, if you enjoyed this walk through Nuremberg, hit that like button, subscribe for more travel adventures, and tell us if would you rather climb a castle tower or hunt for the best bratwurst in town? Check out our Dresden adventure by clicking the end card. And until next time, happy travels!